There are bargains in cosmetic medicine, and there are wastes of your money. I'm gonna go over my top 7 best bangs for your buck in plastic surgery and my 3 worst. IPL stands for intense pulse light, and this is similar to a laser in that it uses light energy to basically zap away dark spots. Now, IPL has been around for decades, and it really works. If you've got age spots or sunspots that you want to get rid of, this is a great way to do it. Within a week of your first treatment, you should see those spots that you're unhappy with start to turn dark and even start to fall off. And the reason why this is such a great bang for your buck is because these treatments usually aren't more than several $100s. This is compared to aggressive laser treatments that can cost in the upwards of thousands of dollars. If you want to get an even better result, then combine IPL treatments with a skin brightening cream to suppress the melanin in your skin, combined with some type of an exfoliating cream like a retinol. This is the only operation on my list, but it makes the list because of 2 main things. Number 1, this is a very simple operation where we can remove the excess skin from each upper eyelid, and that can make a huge impact on how a person looks. If you've got excess hanging skin and it makes you look tired, it makes you look grumpy, or God forbid you can't see that well, then this is a great operation to get rid of that skin and make you look more refreshed and alert. But the second reason why it's a great bang for your buck is because sometimes insurances will actually cover the cost of the operation. If you have so much excess skin that you're having trouble seeing in the upper fields of vision, such as seeing, let's say, traffic lights when you're driving underneath them, then it's possible that your insurance will actually cover the cost of this operation. If you find a good plastic surgeon to perform the procedure for you, essentially you're going to get a cosmetic operation and have your insurance pay for it. Although chemical peels won't necessarily get you a better result than certain laser treatments, they are much less expensive for what you get. The reason why it works this way is because the cost of doing the procedure is what's going to be passed off onto you, the patient. Now, when I buy a laser for my office, lasers can cost anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000. And you know the cost of that device or the leasing of that device is going to be passed off onto you, the patient. But if I do, let's say, a chemical peel on a patient, the cost of that treatment may cost me literally $20 or $50 to perform the procedure at most. So the overhead on that procedure is much less, and so we charge much less for that than we would for a laser treatment that might get you a fairly similar result. So talk to your physician, and if they believe you can get a similar result from a chemical peel as you can get from a more expensive laser treatment, then why not go after the chemical peel instead? Microneedling is number 4 on this list for similar reasons as a chemical peel. Now, once again, it could cost me $200,000 to buy a laser. It could cost me, let's say, $100,000 to buy an IPL device, but it may cost me only $5,000 to $7,000 to buy a microneedling handpiece. So the cost of these treatments, like chemical peels, are not that expensive, and you can get a really nice result from it. Now, the excess costs sometimes associated with microneedling could be due to what they add on top of it. If you do a basic microneedling session, you should be able to get that done for less than a few $100s. But if you add things like PRP to it, or radio frequency to it, now the cost is definitely going to get much higher. So if you're on a budget and you want to spend the least amount possible, yet still get a nice improvement in the smoothness of your skin, in fine lines and wrinkles, and even a mild improvement in overall tightening, then you really can't go wrong with microneedling. Just make sure if you have a history of cold sores that you tell your practitioner beforehand. I'm a huge fan of red light therapy because honestly, this is one of the few things that you can do at home safely and that works. It's believed that the energy of red light therapy is transferred to the mitochondria of your cells, causing them to create more ATP. Now, mitochondria are the powerhouses of our cells, and as we get older, our mitochondria don't function as efficiently. They're not these great powerhouses anymore. And so the idea behind red light therapy is that the energy from that red light will help to power those mitochondria. That can essentially energize your cells, cause them to act and function as if they're more youthful. Now, there are studies that look at red light therapy, and they've actually taken split face studies where they have treated one side of the face with a sham laser and the other side with red light therapy, and found a significant increase in the collagen and the elastin in the side that was treated with red light therapy. They've also seen an improvement in fine lines and the overall fullness of the skin afterwards. Now, there are a lot of different ways to do red light therapy. You can use handheld devices, which I think are kind of a pain because you got to constantly kind of treat parts of your face. You can use those creepy looking masks. You can have tabletop devices that you can treat the whole face at a time, and there are even full body red light beds that some people use in med spas. Use whichever one is affordable for you, but keep in mind that red light therapy definitely works. Okay, before we go to my number 2 and my number 1 best bang for your bucks, let's go to my number 3 worst bang for your buck. Pitted acne scars are such a difficult thing to improve. I really feel for those patients who've had acne scarring when they're a teenager, and now that they're adult, they're still dealing with it. And the reason why acne scar treatments are number 3 on my list of the worst bangs for your buck is because it's so difficult to get a significant improvement in the smoothness of the skin with acne scarring. There are a lot of things that you can try, from moderate depth to deeper chemical peels, to fractional or ablative lasers, to microneedling, but unfortunately none of them are gonna act like an eraser for the acne scars. So if you've got a child or if you're a teenager and you're starting to get cystic acne, you wanna see a dermatologist and jump on it right away. Ideally, you don't wanna wait until those scars are permanent and you have to try to deal with them later. A few years ago, there was a craze with these muscle stimulating devices, and they essentially use electrical stimulation to stimulate muscles to contract anywhere from 20 to maybe 30,000 times in a half-hour session. And these treatments do actually work, but they're on my list of worst bangs for your buck because they really are not the best bangs for your buck, especially in how they forced us to charge a lot for them. When I first got our device, I was forced to charge upwards of $750 per treatment. And if I didn't charge that much money per treatment, you need to start with 4 treatments to start out with, then the company would actually negate my warranty for the device. So we were forced to charge upwards of $3,000 for a series of 4 treatments, and the results would last maybe 6 months. These devices are made to stimulate your muscles to contract and cause you, let's say, to have a better six-pack, or a bit of a lifted or perkier bottom, or even larger biceps. And once again, I do believe that they work, and we still treat these in my office, but now because we're not worried about the warranty and stuff anymore, we're charging much less than we used to. But that's not necessarily the case if you go to bigger cities or if you have a practice that decides they want to keep to the old pricing standards. And my number 1 worst bang for your buck is... I talk about this in some of my other videos, so if you've watched me for a while, you know I'm not a fan of threadless. The reason why I'm not a fan of threadless is because some doctors are charging thousands and thousands of dollars for a result that lasts maybe 6 months, at the most 1 year. Now, if you are rich and you want to spend that type of money on a result that you're not going to see at all 6 to 12 months from now, then by all means, that's on you. But it's very important for people to realize who are having this done that threadless don't last. 6 to 12 months in general is what you get, in my opinion. So keep in mind that there are a lot of other potential options for you if you're looking for a good bang for your buck in anti-aging of your face. All right, so now we're at my number 2 best bang for your buck. It is... Dysport is a type of botulinum toxin similar to Botox, and it really is the number 1 competitor to Botox today. And the reason why this is number 1 on my list of the best bangs for your buck is because for most people you can get a very similar result as you get from Botox, but it's less expensive. Botox is the number 1 cosmetic treatment possibly in the history of the world, and with good reason, because it really works well to smooth out wrinkles of the upper face, to, let's say, slim the jawline, and to even improve unwanted sweating. But it only lasts about 3 to 4 months, and so it is pretty costly. So anytime you can get a procedure like that at a discount, yet still get a great result, then that's a good thing. And that's why Dysport is my number 2 best bang for your plastic surgery buck. And here's my number 1. Tretinoin is a prescription strength version of a retinoid. Retinoids come in prescription strength, like tretinoin or Retin-A, and non-prescription strength, which is retinol. Both of these are great bangs for your buck, but the reason why I put tretinoin as number 1 is because depending on your skin conditions, you might be able to get your health insurance to pay for it for you. In addition, it is very powerful. So for people who really are looking for a very powerful anti-aging cream, tretinoin can work very well, but it must be prescribed or bought in a doctor's office. Now, because tretinoin is very powerful, you don't want to necessarily start off using it, especially if you've got dry skin or real sensitive skin. If that describes you, then you may want to go with an over-the-counter strength like a retinol first. And we have my own Youn Beauty Retinol Moisturizer that I think is a great starting point for anybody who's looking for a good retinoid. But if you've got thicker skin, if you've got real oily skin, if you've got skin that is really hardy, then jumping up to tretinoin may not be a bad idea. Tretinoin has been scientifically proven to improve fine lines and wrinkles, to thicken the dermis or the deeper layer of the skin, to smooth out the skin, to exfoliate the skin, to fade age spots, and do a ton more. It really has been proven to be the most effective anti-aging cream that there is. But because it's hard to tolerate, most people do well with its younger cousin, retinol. Well, in order to find out what my 5 top ways to reverse aging naturally are, you gotta take a peek at the video right up here. And remember, eat real food, use clean skincare, and auto-rejuvenate before you operate.